Hello everybody, welcome back to 366 Days of Hope. My name is Pearl and I'm here to share our next video, which is Love Does Not Beg. So this is a story from Luke 10:38 to 42. You're welcome to read it. It is the story of Martha and Mary. So I kind of want to paint the picture for you to kind of develop my thought process and to express what I've learned from it. Um, in this story, Jesus basically enters into a certain village, and there's this woman named Martha. And she invites Jesus into her house. So it was really interesting to me that women had their own homes, that they owned property. Maybe this is not unusual, but to me, that was something new that I had just read. I was often thinking that during that time, we think of a lot of patriarchs, right? It's a very patriarchal society. The men would gain all the inheritance, at least the firstborn would. So it's very interesting to see that a woman had her own home, and her younger sister, I'm assuming, lived with her, and she also had a brother named Lazarus, which we later learn in the book of John in chapter 11. And so Martha invites Jesus over along with the disciples, and clearly they are the guests of the home. Now, I don't know about you guys, but my guests usually, when they come into my home, I don't let them do too many things other than just enjoy themselves and enjoy the environment, the conversations. I don't really tell them to do anything unless they ask, hey, is there anything I can do? Then maybe I might be delegating some small little task. However, imagine Jesus is sitting down, enjoying himself. He's talking about his, death and resurrection, his how he is the Messiah, and he's revealing certain things to the disciples at this time. And as he is sitting here, expressing truths to the disciples and those that are present, Martha is busy serving everybody, thinking about, whether we have drinks, whether everybody's being fed, etc. And she's being as good of a host as she can be. And then she notices her younger sister sitting down at the feet of Jesus. And she's like, I am the only one doing all this work in my own home. Now, if I saw my little sister doing that, I probably might have gone over to my sister and been like, hey, sis, can you come and help me in the kitchen? Probably pulled her away myself. But she doesn't do that. I just kind of blew my mind a little bit that she didn't walk up to her sister herself and say, hey, sis, can you come and help me? Instead, she goes to Jesus, and almost in this kind of demanding approach, and says, Jesus, can you please tell my sister to come and help me? And thinking, if I had a guest over, I wouldn't be saying, hey, friend, could you please tell my sibling to do something for me? It just seems kind of weird to kind of, go completely around and almost in this very passive aggressive way of telling your disapproval of someone's behavior in front of everybody. Obviously, Jesus catches that, and I think in this loving way, he must have put his hand on her shoulder as she must have approached him like sideways, to the side, and just been like, Jesus, could you please tell my sister to help me? I feel like he just came over, just put his hand right on her shoulders and just said to her, Martha, Martha, in this loving, compassionate way. He just tells her, listen, I know you've been so busy. I know you've had probably a lot of things going on right now, but I'm not going to take away what your sister is doing. She's showing me so much love and respect, and I'm not going to beg her to love me in your version, the way you think I'm to be loved. Like, I would rather you have spent time with me. When I think about this story, that to me is something I constantly feel like I have to relearn or be reminded over again because I am such a type A personality. I can completely resonate with Martha, because I've had that happen where sometimes I get too busy working and serving, and I forget to like just be still. And then I'll start wanting to look at what other people are doing, and they're being still, and in their peace and in their stillness, I am wanting to beg God to tell them to love him the way I think they should love him. And to me, that is a huge rebuke and a huge reminder of how much love is free will. Love is not begging anybody to do something. Love is just being present. And I feel like Martha and Mary kind of represent two sides of the same coin. I guess that's a phrase. It's like there's this concept of love and duty and service, and then there's this being still and being present. There needs to be a balance or a good prioritization of those two things. There are times where we are meant to serve, and knowing when that is. And there's a time in which we need to be still and learn to listen and learn to be present. And I'm often having to remind myself, okay, what am I prioritizing right now? What should I prioritize right now? And to me, I think that's a very important thing that we need to be asking ourselves. What are we prioritizing? And how do we make sure that we're not begging somebody or God to love us the way we want to be loved, or to have someone love us the way we want to be loved? And that's something I feel like we all need to kind of learn to see the difference. And these two individuals really demonstrate that, you know. When you really love someone, it just comes out because it's an expression of what God's put in it. But if you are trying to extrapolate that love, or you're trying to force a love, you're begging for a certain type of expression of love, it's not natural. And so I hope that as we kind of look at how we want to move into the end of this year, we're looking at the way we kind of approach God with our love. Are we kind of commanding him and telling him how we want, you know, things to go in our life, and kind of forcing his hand to get things the way we think needs to be done? Or are we just being still and absorbing and taking in what that is? Well, I hope that as we end this year, it drives you to desire to have a love that doesn't beg, but have a love that is present, authentic, and true. And with that said, may you live, thrive, and be healthy. Take care. Bye.